Hello everyone, welcome back to Stock Market Meridian. Today is 13th July 2026 and you're watching today's pre-market report. Let's begin our video with global markets. Starting with the US markets, all major indices closed in green on Friday. Coming to the European markets, the overall sentiment remained mixed. The FTSE 100 index managed to close in positive territory, while the remaining major European indices ended the session in the red. Now looking at the Asian markets, in Japan, the major indices closed in positive territory and have opened today's session around similar level, indicating continuous strength. On the other hand, China markets closed in negative territory, reflecting cautious investor sentiment. Meanwhile, South Korean markets rallied nearly 3% on. However, today's session has opened with a slight gap down, indicating some profit booking after the recent rally. We will discuss about GIFT Nifty and what it indicates for today's Indian market opening towards the end of this video. Now let's move to the commodities market. The US WTI crude oil is currently trading in range of $73 to $75 per barrel, while Brent crude oil is trading nearly around $77 to $78 per barrel. Although crude oil prices have cooled from their recent highs, now they continue to remain elevated. High crude oil prices generally a negative factor for equity markets. Now let's look at Indian commodity markets. On Friday, crude oil futures closed in negative territory, while natural gas futures are also witnessed a strong decline and ended the session in the red. Coming to the precious metals, Indian gold futures closed with losses, while international gold futures are currently trading nearly 0.6% lower. Similarly, Indian silver futures are also ended the session in negative territory, and international silver futures are trading at comparable lower level, indicating weak sentiment across the precious metal segment. Now let's see ADR's data. On Friday, most Indian ADRs ended on a weak note. HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Reliance Industries, Infosys, and Dr. Reddy's Labs closed in red, and the only major gainer was Wipro ADR, which managed to close in positive territory. Now let's move to the FIIs and DIIs data. On Friday, both FIIs and DIIs remained net buyers. FIIs purchased shares worth around 2,603 crore rupees, while DIIs bought nearly 2,019 crore rupees. This clearly indicates that despite the ongoing geopolitical tensions, institutional investors are still viewing that Indian stock market has a long-term investment opportunity. Now let's check economic calendar. On Friday, German CPI data came in line with market expectations, while India's foreign exchange reserves increased compared to the previous week. Today, the market will be closely watch India's CPI inflation data, and tomorrow, India's WTI inflation number and the US CPI inflation data will be released. These are extremely important economic indicators and could influence global as well as Indian markets. Before moving ahead, a quick reminder. Every morning before market opens, I upload a pre-market report, and also every evening after market closing, I bring you a detailed post-market report. So if you don't want to miss any important market updates, make sure you are subscribed to Stock Market Meridian and turn on the notification bell icon. Now let's move to the biggest topic of the day, geopolitical updates. The conflict between Iran and the US continues to intensify. Air raid sirens were activated across the UAE, Bahrain and Qatar, while air defense systems intercepted suspected Iranian missiles and drones. A fire was also reported at the US Navy's 5th Fleet base in Bahrain, following a suspected missile strike. Meanwhile, multiple explosions were heard in Doha, forcing Qatar authorities to advise residents to remain indoors until further notice. In another major escalation, Iran has declared the Strait of Hormuz closed until further notice after an incident involving an international commercial container ship. Adding to market concerns, Iran's new supreme leader Mustafa Khamenei has vowed revenge for the killing of his father, indicating that tensions are unlikely to ease anytime soon. Overall, geopolitical risks remain extremely high, and global markets are expected to stay volatile until the situation improves. Now let's move to the company's specific updates. Mazagon Dock has successfully delivered its advanced stealth frigate INS Mahendragiri to the Indian Navy during a formal commissioning ceremony held at Visakhapatnam in the presence of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. INS Mahendragiri is the fourth stealth frigate under the prestigious Project 17A program. The warship is nearly 149 meters long, displaces around 6,400 tons, and is equipped with advanced technologies including BrahMos missiles, modern radar systems, and highly automated combat capability. Mazagon dock has also achieved an impressive 21% reduction in construction time compared to the first ship in this class. Even more importantly, the company has delivered 5 warships and 1 submarine within just 6 months, highlighting its exceptional execution capabilities. And the vessel also carried around 75% indigenous content, reflecting India's growing self-reliance in defense manufacturing. Overall, this is a very positive development for Mazagon Dock shipbuilders. Next update is from JSW Energy. JSW Energy's wholly owned subsidiary JSW Energy PSP11 Limited has secured major order worth 443 crore rupees. The order involves supplying a 200 megawatts and 400 megawatts per hour of battery energy storage systems along with advanced power conversion systems. Production will be carried out at the company's 5 gigawatt per hour battery manufacturing facility in Pune. The order has been awarded by Bondada Renewable Energy Private Limited, the subsidiary of Bondada Engineering. With this addition, JSW Energy's total locking generation capacity now stands at 32.1 gigawatt, while its energy storage capacity has reached 29.6 gigawatt per hour. Management reported its long-term goal of achieving 30 gigawatts generation capacity and 40 gigawatt per hour storage capacity by 2030, eventually targeting complete carbon neutrality by 2050. Overall, another positive long-term development for JSW Energy. Next, IREDA has officially classified the borrowing accounts of Gensol Engineering and its subsidiary Gensol EV Lease Limited as fraudulent and has reported the matter to the Reserve Bank of India. The combined exposure stands at approximately 672 crore rupees. According to IREDA, the fraud involves allegations of misappropriations, criminal breach of trust, forgery, and preparation of false documents. However, one important point investors should note is that IREDA has already created 85% provisioning against these accounts as of 31st March 2026. This means a large portion of the financial impact has already been recognized in previous financial statements. As of now, Gensol Engineering has not issued any official clarification. Overall, this development is clearly negative for Gensol Engineering. Next, NTPC boards has approved a massive capital expenditure proposal for the subsidiary company of Lara Super Thermal Power Project Stage 3. The project involves an investment of approximately 20,456 crore rupees and will add 1600 megawatts of additional power generation capacity through two 800 megawatts units. This expansion strengthens NTPC's long-term power generation pipeline and is expected to contribute significantly to future revenue growth. So overall, a strong long-term positive development for NTPC. Next, NCLAT has set aside the earlier insolvency order against Prime Focus. Interestingly, after the insolvency notice was issued, no financial claims were received from any creditors, and both parties eventually reached an out-of-court settlement. As a result, the insolvency proceeding has been terminated, and the company's board of directors has resigned full control over operations. Management has confirmed that business operation continued normally without any disruption. Overall, this is a slightly positive development for Prime Focus stock. Now let's look at L&T Finance quarterly results. The company reported a consolidated total income of 5,243 crore rupees. Revenue increased 23% year-on-year basis and also grew by around 10% quarter-on-quarter. Coming to the profitability, the company posted a net profit of 916 crore rupees. Profit increased 31% year-on-year and also registered a healthy growth of 13% quarter-on-quarter. And the net profit margins improved at 17.47% compared to 16.45% in same quarter last year and 16.96% in the previous quarter. Overall, L&T Finance delivered a strong quarter with double-digit growth in both revenue and profit, along with improving profitability margins, making the results clearly positive. Next, Avenue Supermarts quarterly results. The company reported a consolidated total income of 18,820 crore rupees for the quarter. Revenue increased by 15% year-on-year basis, and on quarter-on-quarter basis, revenue also grew by over 6%. Coming to the profitability, the company posted a net profit of 860 crore rupees. Net profit increased by 11.3% year-on-year, while on quarter-on-quarter basis, profit jumped by nearly 31%. The company reported an EBITDA of 1,499 crore rupees. EBITDA registered a healthy 15.5% year-on-year growth. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, EBITDA grew by 23.8%. Talking about the margins, EBITDA margin stood at 7.98%, slightly higher than 7.94% in the same quarter last year, and significantly better than 6.85% reported in the previous quarter. The net profit margin came in at 4.58%, although it was slightly lower than 4.72% recorded last year due to higher depreciation and financial cost, but it improved subsequently from 3.71% in previous quarter. Overall, DMart delivered another strong quarter with healthy growth in revenue, profits, EBITDA, and a significantly improvement in margins compared to previous quarter, reflecting continuous strength in its retail business. And finally, let's look at LTIMindtree's quarterly results. LTIMindtree reported a revenue of 11,608 crore rupees during this quarter. Revenue increased by 18% year-on-year, and on quarter-on-quarter basis, revenue also registered a healthy 2.8% growth. Coming to profitability, the company reported a net profit of 1,469 crore rupees. Net profit increased by 17.1% year-on-year, and on quarter-on-quarter basis, profit grew by 9.5%. The company reported an EBITDA of 2,061 crore rupees. EBITDA increased by impressive 24.9% year-on-year, while on quarter-on-quarter basis, EBITDA grew by 4.4%. Talking about the margins, the EBITDA margin improved to 17.8% compared to 16.8% in same quarter last year and 17.5% in previous quarter. The net profit margin stood at 12.7%, improving from 11.9% in previous quarter, indicating better operational efficiency and profitability. Overall, LTIMindtree delivered an excellent quarter with double-digit year-on-year growth in revenue, net profit, EBITDA, while both and net profit margins continued to improve, making the results clearly positive for the company and the overall IT sector. Now let's check GIFT Nifty data. On Friday, GIFT Nifty closed in 24,200 level and today opened with 60 points gap down at 24,140 level, indicating a gap down and negative start for Indian markets. Finally, on your screen, you can now see the complete list of companies scheduled to announce their quarterly results for today and tomorrow. So that's all for today's pre-market report. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Stock Market Meridian. I will meet you again this evening with today's post-market report. Until then, thanks for watching. Signing off. Bye bye. Jai Hind.